Hi everyone, welcome to the operational case study pre-scene analysis sessions carried out by TCS, and this video is relevant for the case study examinations happening in November 2021 and February 2022. And before I move ahead with the pre-scene analysis, let me tell you about how many videos I'm supposed to carry out and how I'm going to cover the entire pre-scene. So there would be 4 videos in total, and this is the first video. And in the first video, I will be handling the introduction or covering the introduction part. Then in the second video, I'll be covering the industry analysis, followed by a third video in which I would be covering the company operations. And in the last video, I'll be covering the financial analysis. Okay, so having said that, let's move ahead with our pre-scene analysis. So the company which is considered in this time's pre-scene is TreadCushy, and you would get an in-depth understanding about what this company is up to when we move ahead with the pre-scene analysis. So first things first, let's look at what your role is. You are supposed to play the role of a finance officer within the finance department of TreadCushy. So as a finance officer, you need to remember that you are at the lowest level of the organization, or you are at the operational level. So your role is focused on the short term, and you need to have a good understanding about budgeting, variance analysis, costing, not just traditional costing, but you need to have a good understanding about digital costing as well, working capital management, short-term risk management, as well as assist your senior management team or your board of directors with decision making. So as I told you earlier, you are supposed to provide information to managers to assist with decision making. So when making decisions, it is of utmost importance that you arrive at decisions in an ethical manner. So you need to have a good understanding about the CIMA code of ethics, which is part and parcel of the E1 syllabus. And on top of that, looking at the company TreadCushy, this is a shoe manufacturing company. You will get to know about these things later on when we look into the nitty-gritties of the company. So as a shoe manufacturer, I've provided some real-life examples such as Adidas, New Balance, Everlane, as well as Allbirds. So all these companies are into, if you consider companies such as Adidas and New Balance, they have a separate recycled range where they use recycled raw materials in their shoes. So this company which we are considering, TreadCushy, is using recycled material. So these are the type of real life examples which are akin to, which has operations akin to our own company. Okay. And you are supposed to answer queries regarding financial reporting and other financial matters. Okay. So that's your role in a nutshell. Then let's move on to the introduction. So TreadCushy is a company that designs, manufactures, and sells a range of athletic shoes made using natural and recycled materials. So they have given us a hint by saying that this is a company which designs, manufactures, and sells a range of products. Okay, so since they are speaking about a company which designs, manufactures, and sells a product, standard costing can be tested, costing methods can be tested, such as you need to have a good understanding about absorption costing, marginal costing, activity-based costing, and whatnot. Then you need to have a good understanding about cost volume profit analysis, thereby you having a good understanding about break-even points, multi-product break-even, and stuff like that. Okay, so these things will be tested, and as a designer, manufacturer, and a seller of athletic shoes made using natural and recycled material. So what stands out is, or what you need to remember is, this is a company which is manufacturing athletic shoes made out of natural or recycled material. So that is exactly why I said the recycled range of Adidas and New Balance needs to be considered as real life examples. Okay, so this is something which gives competitive advantage to the company. You'll get to understand about these things later on when we get into the nitty-gritties. And the company is based in a country called Kieland, a fictitious country. And this country is located in mainland Europe, which has K dollars as its currency. So since this company is based in Europe, you can assume that the economy is functioning properly and that the economy is booming. And since the company is located within a booming economy, then there is significant potential for growth. Okay, then TreadCushy was founded in 2007 by Sophia Grigg and Harry Blanc. So the company had been in existence for 14 long years. So this is a well-established company. We can assume from this information. And the two co-founders, Sophia Grigg and Harry Blanc, worked for the same major worldwide athletic shoe and clothing brand. So these guys, the two co-founders, has a good understanding about what happens within their business environment, which is actually beneficial for TreadCushy, because their co-founders know or they have a good understanding about the industry dynamics. And both of them are passionate about the environment, sustainability, and the use of natural material. Okay, so that is exactly why this company is hell-bent on using natural and recycled materials, because the co-owners are they have sound understanding about sustainability, and they believe in the ethos based on sustainability. Okay, and on top of that, in 2007 they started their business with setting up a small workshop, and by 2010, 3 years later, they introduced the first range of casual athletic shoes. And these casual athletic shoes were launched to the market in mid 2010. And how did they sell their products? Through their company website. So from the inception, the company was involved with online selling. So we can assume that, or we can state that this company is a tech savvy one. And when it comes to how they handle, when it comes to understanding how the company handles their production, they had kept their production in-house. This goes against the industry norms, because most of the manufacturers out there, they outsource their production, but this company has been adamant about keeping everything in-house, and they kept their production in-house because of their focus on craftsmanship. So this shows that this company provides a higher level of attention to quality. So in order to manage quality, this company had kept their production in-house. And in early 2010, a site in central Kieland was purchased, where they put up their production facility, distribution center, and the head office. So they started in 2007 as a small company with a small workshop, but they moved into their own location, where they have their production facility, distribution center, and the head office in early 2010. And the company was formed by getting funding from venture capitalists as well as private investors. So this is typical for a startup. I've mentioned it in here. And the company, since its inception, had been able to gain brand awareness in Kieland, not only in Kieland, but in many other European countries. So the company is not only operating within Kieland, but in neighboring European countries as well. So in 2005, the company launched a range of athletic shoes, and in 2015, in 2015, the company launched a range of athletic shoes. And in 2015 itself, they introduced a range of performance athletic shoes. Now they had moved into the performance market in 2015. And in 2017, TreadCushy opened its first store in capital city of Kieland. So up until 2017, they were selling their products solely online, but now you can see that these guys started opening up. They opened their first retail store in Keeland, okay, in capital city Keeland. All right, and they have put up a new distribution center as well, which is 10 kilometers away from the main site. Okay, so by looking at all this information, we can see that this company has an international presence, and because of this international presence, there's significant potential to growth. And on top of that, the company has, from their online selling routes, they had diversified into in-store retail businesses as well by 2017. And with regards to the opening of the new distribution center in 2017, they had opened up a distribution center 10 kilometers away from the main site. So problem comes into my mind with regards to whether we can locate this distribution center closer to the main site to improve efficiency of logistics. So when we move further with the study system, you would know that this company is trying to achieve carbon neutrality. So with that aspect in mind, with the aim of reducing carbon emissions, the company would be better off if they located their distribution center closer to the production facility. So this is an issue which I see which affects the company, which might affect the company in a negative manner in the future. Okay, and in the year to 30th June 2021, the company's revenue was $68 million and profit before tax is $6 million. So the company has been profitable in the current year. And during the year, the company sold more than 700,000 pairs of athletic shoes in 10 European countries and opened its 14th store. So in 2017, they opened the first store, and by 2021, they had grown exponentially, thereby opening its 14th store. And these guys started their business in 2007 by only selling to people in Keeland, but now they are operating or selling their products in 10 European countries as well. So we can see again, that there's been significant growth within the company. And by 2025, TreadCushy aims to sell over 1 million pairs of athletic shoes a year across more than 20 countries. Okay, and they are also trying to achieve carbon neutral status by 2030. So by looking at all this information, we can see that the company has experienced exponential growth in online sales and expansion of retail outlets. Okay, and on top of that, by looking at what the company is trying to achieve by 2025, we can divide their goals into three main areas as an expansion objective, sales objective, as well as a sustainability objective. So expansion objective, with regards to the expansion objective, they are aiming to sell over 1 million pairs of athletic shoes a year across more than 20 countries. Okay, so you can see that the company has pursued organic growth since inception. Since 2007, the company has pursued organic growth. Okay, and a question comes into my mind whether the company can focus on alternatives to expand in the future, whether we can acquire some other company or whether we can go for a joint venture. So these are all possibilities. And with regards to the sales objective, the company is planning to achieve a growth in sales amounting to 43% by 2025 compared to what we are selling, or the number of shoes sold this year. Okay, so we can see that the company is trying to achieve exponential growth within the next 4 years, thereby trying to achieve an increased amount of sales by 43%. And on top of that, looking at the sustainability objective, the company wants to become carbon neutral by 2030. So this is really good because the company is keeping in line with market and consumer dynamics in Europe and in America, because most of the millennials in Europe and America, they are moving towards sustainable companies. So this is really good, and this would increase potential for improved sales or sales growth in the future. To achieve these objectives, significant changes need to occur within the company. Yes. So having said, having viewed all these things in a positive manner, we have to be realistic as well. If we are to achieve carbon neutral status by 2030, we need to change so many things within the organization, such as locate the distribution center closer to the factory with the aim of reducing carbon emissions pertaining to logistics. Use zero emission delivery vehicles or electric delivery vehicles. So when we go ahead with the pre-scene analysis, you would know that at the moment the company is using fossil fueled delivery vehicles. So we have to replace these fossil fuel delivery vehicles with electric vehicles, and zero emission targets need to be set in our production plant as well. Because if we are to be carbon neutral, our production needs to achieve a zero emission level, zero carbon level. Okay, so these are the things which we can understand about the company. Then they have provided, the examiner had provided extracts from the TreadCushy website as well. So by looking at this information, we can gain some type of an understanding about what the company is up to. So according to the information which appears on the website, it says that our products are made from 100% natural or recycled material. So that is really good. Okay, so it shows that one of our speciality is being eco-friendly. So not all companies can achieve something like this, where we source 100% of our raw materials naturally, or where we are using recycled material. Okay, so that's something positive, because this is in line with industry dynamics as well as consumer demand. And on top of that, we produce everything within our own production facility. So 100% of our production is happening in-house. Okay, so this shows us that we have total control over the entire production process, which makes it easier for us to control and maintain quality. So weaving, assembly, as well as final inspection, all these production related activities are happening in-house. And this also raises the question as to whether we can outsource whilst maintaining quality in order to achieve cost efficiencies. Okay, because most of the major players had outsourced their production facilities. So we need to think in that line as well, whether we can benefit from outsourcing our production facilities. And we are using an increasing number of skilled craftspeople. So this gives us a hint that our production process is somewhat manual as well. Okay, so and on top of that, I missed a point with regards to using 100% natural or recycled material. This in itself shows that sustainability imperatives are pursued across design, manufacture, and packaging processes, because this is in line with the ethos of the two co-founders who believe in sustainability. Then the company, when manufacturing their shoes, they try to achieve two things. That is, these things are comfort and style. So TreadCushy shoes are known to be comfortable as well as in style and in line with the needs of the market. So that's another specialty of the company. All right, so when further diving deeper into company, into the introduction towards the company, we can see that customers can purchase products, TreadCushy's products, from retail stores, online stores, as well as via a shopping app. Okay, so a combination of retail, online, and app-based sales are occurring. And because of this, we are offering increased convenience to customers. And all these, selling through our retail stores, online, as well as shopping app, are in line with major brands in the market, such as Adidas, Nike, and Puma. And when it comes to having an understanding about our product range, we can see that our products can be categorized into two main areas, as the casual range as well as the performance range. Under the casual range, you get shoes where you or the type of shoes you wear every day, and under the performance range, these type of shoes are there to enhance your running performance. Okay, so that's those are the two main product categories, and under the two main product categories you get 4 different sub products as wool, wood, heel, and flat. So wool shoes, which falls under the casual range, uses natural wool uppers as a material. So the main focus is about providing comfort to customers. Then the wood category of shoes uses a natural wood upper, which provides weatherproofing to in the shoes. Okay, and when you consider the two subcategories, sub-product categories under the performance range, heel and flat comes into the picture. Heel has a wooden upper, and it is used for running in mountainous areas. And the flat product category has a wooden upper as well, and it is used for flat running. Okay, so product offerings are daily wear as well as shoes which are focused on improving running performance. You need to remember these things. Okay, then let's have a look at the directors. We have 6 directors in total in this company. So the 2 co-founders are Sophia Grigg and Harry Blanc. Okay, so these 2 guys were the co-founders. So let's look at each and every director and what they are up to, what their responsibilities are. So Sophia Grigg acts as the managing director of the company, and she was one of the co-founders, and she has responsibility for the business as a whole. Hence her designation as managing director, and she's handling marketing as well. So she runs the company, and on top of that handles marketing, and she also has an added responsibility of doing the final sign off on new designs and products. So she gets to pick and choose which products would go from design into manufacturing, and she believes in sustainability and always works towards reducing any harmful impact of the business on the environment. So she believes in sustainability. Then Harry Blanc, the product development and IT director, one of the co-founders again, has the responsibility for the development of new athletic shoe designs as well as the IT department. So this individual, just like the managing director, handles 2 areas of the business, product development and IT. And Harry is passionate about fitness and well-being, and is keen to expand the business base of the product base of the business into apparel and other fitness related products. So this guy, Harry Blanc, is focused on related diversification. He does not want to just focus on shoes. He wants to focus on related diversification as well. And he had recently appointed a dedicated social media marketing manager to run our social media marketing activities, which shows that Harry Blanc understands or has a grasp about the power of social media as a marketing tool. Then looking at the production director, Oleg Scragg, he had been within the company since 2010, and he was previously a senior production manager at a garment manufacturing facility, which shows that this guy has industry knowledge, as well as since he had been within TreadCushy from 2010, he has an in-depth understanding about the internal dynamics of the company as well. And he is responsible for the production facility, and he is interested in sustainability as well, and in return works closely with Sophia Grigg. So it's good to have a production director who believes in sustainability. Then Jack Tang is our sales and distribution director, and he had been in the post since 2020. He had joined TreadCushy recently, and he's responsible for handling online sales, retail stores, as well as the distribution center. And this guy, Jack Tang, wants more technology within the distribution center. So we can see that Jack Tan believes in the company ethos as well, because we want to achieve carbon neutrality, carbon neutral status by 2030. If we are to achieve this, then definitely we have to have more technology within our distribution centers and the production facilities. Then looking at the finance director, Emily Queda, she's a qualified accountant, and she has responsibility towards running the finance department, and she had been in the company since the inception because she was the person who was instrumental in securing finances in the early stages. So this is one of the key stakeholders of the company, and she has a sound financial footing, and she's interested to invest in new products and markets. So we can see that the finance director shares the same type of beliefs as Harry Blanc, because Harry Blanc is focused on related diversification, and the finance director believes in that as well. And Sarah Gomez is the human resources director, and she had been in the post since 2018, and she had joined the company given the excellent reputation TreadCushy has with regards to staff welfare, which shows that we treat our employees properly as well. So by looking at all these directors, I've come up with a basic analysis. The original founders are still functioning as the marketing director and product development and IT directors. Because of this, we can assume that these guys are the original co-founders are motivated and dedicated, yet may be unwilling to give up control. So that's a downside of things. And the finance director had been instrumental in securing finances. So when you look at the responsibilities of the board of directors, we can see that there's robust budgeting and control, staff welfare is a concern, fitness and well-being. The directors are focused on pursuing related diversification. They believe in sustainability as well as technology and digitalization. So if I provide an overall analysis, we have experienced board members, which is good for corporate governance, and we have to provide excellent levels of customer service and keep track of industry dynamics if we are to be successful in the future as well. And I think it is better to have a separate IT department, given that majority of our sales are driven via website sales and the app. So rather than overburdening Harry Blanc with product development as well as IT related responsibilities, it would be better if we have a separate IT department with an individual who is from an IT background. Why? Because majority of our sales are happening through our website and the app. So even related areas which can be tested pertaining to the areas highlighted under the directors, ethics and corporate governance can be tested. Digital and social media marketing can be tested. So you need to have a good understanding about what big data is and what type of business intelligence tools the company can use. And P1 related areas can be tested pertaining to CGMA, cost transformation model, and digital costing. All right, so let's look at the various different departments. So they have given us a hint about the organizational structure or the departmental structure. So by looking at the way in which these departments are structured, we can see that there is a functional structure within the organization. So the pros of a functional structure is specialization, which leads to economies of scale, as well as the prevention of duplication of effort. All these things are there. And the drawbacks or the cons are empire building leading to infighting, where two major functions might be fighting with each other, and there could be a lack of cross-functional communication, which could be detrimental for the success of the organization. So having said that, let's look at each and every department. So the production department is headed by the production director, Oleg Scragg, and under him there are 4 different heads in charge of purchasing, raw materials and warehouse, production and maintenance, typical of production department. Then looking at the sales and distribution department, it is headed by Jack Tang, the sales and distribution director, and under him there are 3 separate heads handling online sales, retail stores, as well as the finished goods warehouse. And looking at the finance function, the finance director is Emily Queda, and under her there is a finance manager named Ben Newma, and you are part and parcel of the finance team, and there are 8 employees within the finance team. 4 finance officers, of which you are one, and there are 4 finance assistants under you as well. So what you need to remember is, it is important to remember the FDs, finance directors, and finance managers names, because these things can be thrown at you at the exam, and your role is that of a finance officer. Okay, so that brings us to the end of the introductory session. We have covered the introduction pertaining to the considered company TreadCushy. So I invite you guys to watch the other 3 videos as well, where I'd be covering the industry analysis, company operations, as well as the financial statements. Thank you very much. And I hope you would check out the other 3 videos as well. Thanks again.